blues, country, and other musical genres all contributed to the development of rock and roll. It has changed over time to incorporate many different styles and themes. The usage of biblical themes and references is a recurrent motif in rock music. Numerous well-known songs make allusions to the Bible and Christian topics. These hints can be found in the music, the lyrics, and the visuals. Some songs' lyrics make particular allusions to biblical narratives, such as the tale of Adam and Eve or the temptation of Jesus in the wilderness. Other songs delve deeper into biblical subjects like salvation or the importance of faith in one's life. Rock and roll frequently includes musical components influenced by Christian traditions in addition to lyrics. For instance, a lot of rock and roll songs have chord progressions and melodies that sound like hymns. In addition, some rock songs use gospel vocal harmonies and vocal styles, which are frequently seen in Christian music. Additionally, a lot of rock musicians and artists employ symbols and images that allude to particular biblical themes or stories. Many bands incorporate crosses and other Christian symbols into the design of their albums and stage setups, while others use biblical imagery in their music videos and live performances. Today, you'll discover 10 well-known rock songs that were influenced directly by the Bible. The most well-known work of literature in the Christian world served as an odd source of inspiration for the 10 songs on this album by gnarly, outlaw rock vocalists. A collection of everlasting musical gems is the eventual product. Number 10, Suffering for the Devil, the Rolling Stones. Sympathy for the Devil was initially made available by the Rolling Stones on their 1968 album Beggar's Banquet. It was written by Mick Jagger and Keith Richards and has since grown to be one of the most recognizable and well-known songs by the group. Written from Satan's point of view, the song. It describes the devil's function as a tempter and liar. The narrative of Adam and Eve and Jesus' desert temptation are just two of the biblical allusions included in the song's lyrics. The first few words of the song actually make reference to how Satan is described in the Bible as a tempter and a deceiver. The song opens with the line, "Please allow me to introduce myself. I'm a man of riches and taste." Satan tempts Eve to eat the forbidden fruit in the book of Genesis by promising her wisdom and power, and in the Gospels of Matthew, Mark, and Luke, Satan tempts Jesus in the wilderness by promising him the kingdoms of the world. In that aspect, Jagger and Richards are well aware of what they are singing. The narrator of the song uses language to describe his activities that is evocative of how Satan is described in the Bible throughout the song. The Stones scream, "I was around when Jesus Christ had his moment of uncertainty and agony," in one stanza. That is a rather direct allusion to being present when Jesus was tempted and contributing to his suffering. In addition, the chorus of the song, which bears the same name, alludes to how Satan is described in the Bible as a tempter and liar who strives to seduce people with his riches and attractiveness. The Stones hit the nail on the head with this one, even in a society when many lyrics are allegorical. The lyrics of the song address the concepts of temptation and the part that Satan plays in people's life while making obvious allusions to the Bible and Christian themes. Number 9, Steps to Heaven, Led Zeppelin. Stairway to Heaven was published by the famed British rock group Led Zeppelin on their 1971 album Led Zeppelin 4. The song has grown to be among the best known and most popular rock tunes of all time. Regarding its intent and source, there has also been a lot of discussion and conjecture. Fans have been left in the dark regarding its significance for 50 years due to its metaphorical bent. The hymn is often interpreted in a purely biblical manner. The song's lyrics specifically mention, "a staircase to heaven," and "a tune that will come to you at last." The idea of heaven and the notion that one's ultimate destiny will be revealed in the end are approximately equivalent in the Christian faith. As references to faith and eternal life, the lyrics also refer to "a lady who's confident all that glitters is gold," and "a ring that doesn't fade away." The song has melodic themes that have been heard as allusions to the Bible and Christianity. A solitary violin plays a hymn-like melody at the beginning of the song. The main melody of the song then uses a chord sequence reminiscent of a classic praise song. The song's verse-chorus-verse format is also classic and is the same as that of many hymns. Other interpretations of the song assert that it is about a journey of spiritual enlightenment and self-discovery. The song's lyrics are about a person who is looking for purpose and understanding as well as their position in the world. Thus, this voyage could be compared as the stairway to paradise. Some people interpret the song that will finally come to you as the insight or comprehension they are looking for. Led Zeppelin was obviously dealing with important, deep subjects in this song, whether it was explicitly biblical or just metaphorical. Therefore, it may come as no surprise that the song has become one of rock's most well-known songs of all time. Number 8, Turn, 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 by the Byrds. There is a Time to Everything audio. Turn, 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 was released by the Byrds in 1965 on their eponymous album. The Bible's Ecclesiastes book served as the inspiration for the song. Actually, the song's words are virtually entirely lifted from the book. The first line of the song, which begins, "To everything turn, 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 there is a season, turn, 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 and a time to every purpose, under heaven," is the only exception. Therefore, it is still quite biblical even when it doesn't directly quote the Bible. The remaining portion of the song covers the concept of life's cyclical nature and the notion that everything has its proper time and place, much like the book of Ecclesiastes does. The topic of the cyclical cycle of life and the notion that everything has its time and place are encapsulated by the turn lines, which are repeated throughout. The remaining lyrics, which are also derived directly from Ecclesiastes, go into greater detail on this theme while making references to the opening at various points in time. Simple, lively folk rock style that is driven by the interplay between the guitar, bass, and percussion best describes the song's music. The Byrds were skilled at writing songs that were easy to sing along to. Not only is it amusing, but the structure's repetition makes it simple to recall, turn, 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 and sing along with it. The Byrds' interpretation of the song immediately gained popularity. In December 1965, it topped the Billboard Hot 100 chart. Since then, countless other artists have covered the song, and it has become a folk rock classic. Since then, it has gained popularity as a song for sing-alongs and group performances. Its straightforward biblical elements have helped it permeate throughout the music the entire time. Number 7, Highway 61 reconsidered. Bob Dylan. In 1965, Bob Dylan released Highway 61 Revisited on his eponymous album. The song's bluesy, rock and roll vibe has made it famous. Its airy lyrics are chock full of vivid imagery and pop culture allusions. The song's inspiration from Christian themes is a common way to interpret it. The phrase, Highway 61 Revisited, in the song's title alludes to the book of Revelation in the Bible. The New Jerusalem is referred to as a city composed of gold and other costly materials, and it is portrayed as having a highway or path leading there. The song's lyrics make mention to this route in the New Jerusalem, which could be an allusion to the song's concept of spiritual enlightenment or salvation. Other biblical concepts, such the Tower of Babel story and the idea of the apocalypse, are also mentioned in the song by Dylan's lyrics. These lyrics could be interpreted as references to the biblical stories of the Tower of Babel and the apocalypse, which both depict a world that is in disarray and in need of redemption. The lyrics describe a world in chaos and turmoil, with people crying in the dead of night, and trying to get to heaven before they close the door. It's interesting to note that Highway 61 Revisited is equally renowned for its colorful imagery and pop culture references. The song portrays a trip along Highway 61, a genuine road that traverses the southern United States. It makes mention of several locations and cities along the journey. The song's lyrics provide a vivid image of life on the highway with their colorful descriptions of the people and locations the narrator comes across on his travels. But the biblical principles have endured. Christians and Jews alike still cite Dylan's powerful song as a tribute to the tale of God and his creation 6 decades after it was first aired. Number 6, Interminable Death. Metallica. On their album Ride the Lightning from 1984, Metallica included the song, Creeping Death. The strong music and lyrics of the heavy metal song, which explore themes of devastation and death, are well known. There is little doubt that the 10th plague tale in the book of Exodus and the Bible served as inspiration for this song. The song's lyrics speak of an approaching death that would annihilate the antagonists of the narrator. The biblical account of the 10th plague, in which God sent a series of plagues to devastate the ancient Egyptians in order to set the Israelites free from slavery, is mentioned in several passages. The lyrics further imply a connection to the biblical narrative by referring to the plagues as creeping death, and referring to the narrator's adversaries as Pharaoh's slaves. Slaves, Hebrews, born to serve the Pharaoh, heed to his every word, live in fear, so let it be written, let it be done to slay the firstborn Pharaoh's son. I'm creeping death, the singer James Hetfield sings in one line. The band had just seen the 1956 Charlton Heston film The 10 Commandments when Hetfield began to compose the song. A notable scene from that movie shows the 10th plague being introduced via a fog. Although the film's use of the fog was purely theatrical, the imagery stuck with the rock band. They noticed the devastating, creeping death. The song's lyrics also address themes of devastation and death, warning that hell is coming for you, and that death is crawling its way in. These are all allusions to the biblical notions of hell as an area of eternal torment and of death as a penalty for sin. Creeping Death is adored for its powerful melodies and quick-paced guitar riffs in addition to its biblical themes. Rock music has a quick, strong, and aggressive tone. It has evolved into a heavy metal genre classic in the time since its debut. Number 5. Take your stethoscope and go for a walk. Pink Floyd. On their 1967 debut album, The Piper at the Gates of Dawn, Pink Floyd included the song, Take Up Thy Stethoscope and Walk. It's a dreamy, psychedelic song with images and cultural allusions throughout, some of which are to Christianity. The phrase, pick up thy staff, and walk, which appears in the book of Genesis, is referenced in the song's title. This sentence is frequently taken as a metaphor for how people navigate life. But the precise quote from the Bible makes the point even more strongly. Roger Waters, who plays bass, is given credit for it in the album notes. It also makes veiled allusions to the passage in John 5:8 when Jesus cures a disabled man after he spent years sitting on a mat. Jesus instructs the man to take up thy staff and walk, and Waters' words appear in the well-liked rock song. The narrator draws parallels between the book of John and the notion of accepting responsibility for one's actions and paving one's own path in life. The song, along with a lot of Pink Floyd's earlier work, reveals the group's devotion to the Bible. Additionally, it displays elements of Roger Waters' later developed preoccupation with biology and medicine. Later songs by the band further explored these themes, including Waters and Pink Floyd frequently took inspiration from the Bible throughout their musical careers. The record Dark Side of the Moon's incorporation of passages from Ecclesiastes is a good example of this. Therefore, it makes sense that the band wanted to make a religious allusion in Take Up Thy Stethoscope and Walk, which appeared on their debut album. Number 4. Cain Was Raised by Adam, by Bruce Springsteen. One of the most frightening tales in the Old Testament is that of Cain and Abel, which is found in Genesis. It draws attention to how families and relationships have nuanced dynamics. When Cain kills Abel, the tragedy comes to a close. Although the brothers' actions and motivations are frequently explored in reference to this tale, Adam's part in the course of events should also be taken into account. Thank goodness Bruce Springsteen did that for us. The biblical tale is used in his song, Adam Raised a Cain, from the album Darkness on the Edge of Town, to explore the subject of father-son relationships and the impact of parental figures. In the same way that Cain was an offspring of Adam, the song implies that we cannot escape the impact of our parents. The song explores the complexity of the human condition in a somber and thought-provoking way. Additionally, Springsteen has stated this in interviews. He was questioned by Cream magazine in 1978 about how he had drawn inspiration from the Bible. The boss specifically referred to that fable and remarked on how its concepts appeared to be timeless. When asked about utilizing the Bible as inspiration for his music, Bruce Springsteen remarked, I was thinking of creating that particular song, and I went back trying to get a sense for it. Of course, the rock legend from New Jersey is among the best to have ever written on the plight of the workingman. But as it turns out in this instance, Springsteen also has a natural flair for speaking candidly about historical religious stories. Number 3, Stone of Ages. Def Leppard. The hit song, Rock of Ages, can be found on the 1983 album Pyromania by the English rock group Def Leppard. The use of the cowbell and the frenetic, loud rock sound of the song are both well-known characteristics. The band required lyrics but had already written the song's music, according to lead singer Joe Elliott in an interview. They looked to the Bible for guidance and used it as a source for the song's lyrics. Years later, Elliott recounted, we let someone use the studio the night before, and they held a Bible study session. I picked up a Bible that was left in the studio open to the song, Rock of Ages, and began singing. The song came together all of a sudden. The band almost instantly understood they were in for a hit. One of the best rock songs of the hair metal era came together quickly as they lined up the melody and lyrics. However, the song's biblical source isn't its only standout feature. Rock aficionados will never forget its cryptic opening line, Gunter, Gleben, Glotton, Globen. For admirers, the significance of this sentence has never been clear. Now that we've identified it. Drummer Rick Allen claimed that producer Mutt Lange had become weary of the standard 1, 2, 3, 4 countdown for songs in recording sessions. He decided on a meaningless term as a substitute. The strange, random beginning of Rock of Ages consequently became one of the most enduring memes of headbanger music. Number 2, Kendrick Lamar and U2 Get Out of Your Own Way lyrics. Given that they are Irish and Roman Catholic, it is not surprised that U2 has been influenced by the Bible. The band references the Beatitudes, a group of lines from the Sermon on the Mount in the New Testament, in the song, Get Out of Your Own Way. These passages give guidance on how to treat others with kindness and understanding. They also provide solace to people in need, such as the downtrodden, humiliated, and bereaved. But U2 wasn't willing to take the easy route. They used the Bible's Beatitudes as a starting point and revised them to criticize modern society. The lyrics of the song reverse the Beatitudes' original message and criticize contemporary values. In the verse of the song, for instance, it is said that, Blessed are the arrogant, for theirs is the kingdom of their own company, blessed are the superstars, for in the magnificence of their light we understand better our own insignificance, blessed are the filthy rich, for you can only truly own what you give away, like your pain. These words harshly critique contemporary priorities and directly contradict the original Beatitudes. That criticism is all the more devastating given that U2 and Kendrick Lamar worked together on the song. The song's outro has the rapper's voice reciting the anti-Beatitudes. Lamar decided to say the lines clearly rather than rap them like he usually does. The choice made the verse sound like a sermon. There is a lot of metaphor, there is a critique of the unfavorable elements of our material culture. The stirring song by U2 and Lamar warns against glorifying wealth, celebrity, and conceit. Will society, however, take their advice? Number 1. The Devil Traveled to Georgia, Charlie Daniels Band. This one looks quite clear-cut, don't you think? The Devil Went Down to Georgia was first made available in 1979 by the Charlie Daniels Band. Due to its quick tempo, the bluegrass-inspired song has been popular ever since. Its catchy lyrics also convey an intriguing tale about a fiddle-playing competition between the devil and a young child named Johnny. The lyrics are also replete with references to the Bible. After all, the hymn makes a barely disguised allusion to the account of Jesus' wilderness temptation in the book of Matthew. In this tale, the devil seduces Jesus by promising him the world's kingdoms. But Jesus battles the devil and wins in the end. In the song, the devil challenges Johnny to a fiddle competition and offers him a gold fiddle as a prize, according to many references in the lyrics. The devil tempts people exactly as he does in the Bible, but both Jesus and Johnny in the song withstand temptation and maintain their convictions. There are numerous biblical allusions and stories throughout the fiddle-driven song. Both the concept of good against evil and the effectiveness of faith are evident. In the lyrics of CDB, Johnny is referred to be a Christian who is able to vanquish the devil thanks to his faith and fiddling prowess. With the help of his tenacity, Johnny was able to resist the temptation to commit a fatal sin in his own way. Like Jesus, Johnny refused to give up his soul in exchange for worldly advantages. Thus, the 1979 song has a lasting impact on how Christians advise one another to live. Therefore, it truly comes as no surprise that it has long been favored by traditional Southern Christians. Naturally, The Devil Went Down to Georgia is renowned for its energetic sound and memorable tunes as well. Daniel's incredible fiddle skills are what propel the song's quick-paced, joyful performance. The song has established itself as a classic of the country and Southern rock genres, even without its Christian undertones. It will continue to be popular for many years to come thanks to its potent parable and catchy rhythms.